awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a
looking
bat, I
at the
don't know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up!
Welcome everyone to the Hill of the Ring podcast. It is the AEW Dynamite edition. Yes, I know a little bit of day late, but due to our working schedules and conflicts, we came a little bit late today. But all in all, we are going to review AEW Fyter Fest Week 2. And before we get going, we gotta break for a moment. Information coming in as we speak from the World Wrestling Entertainment. 77-year-old CEO Vincent Kennedy McMahon has announced his retirement from the WWE. And of course, this is the man, the myth, the legend, the pioneer, the icon. Of course, he not lately in the news for a positive situation, but all in all, he has contributed a lot to the world of wrestling in all aspects. He is retiring. First and foremost, let me first say, where's my manners? Let's say hello to Heel. Heel, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I mean, like, good afternoon to everyone and you too. And I don't think anyone expected to wake up today and see this. I mean, let's be honest. We all thought of Vince as immortal, and I know everyone's gonna have their jokes based on the matter and recent news and all that, but no matter what you think of what this man's done and everything like that, you got to respect his legacy in this business forever.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Phenomenal. We will have our own we will have a YouTube video program on our own, just of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, of all from just all our thoughts, and we'll get some more panelists on. We just wanted to interrupt the AEW program first and foremost, just to bring that note. It is huge news that it crosses not just WWE, but in wrestling and sports entertainment all around. Wow, that to me, it saddens me. I know what, despite the fact of he's got no, he's not a saint, but we'll move on. Like Vince will say, and he will want for his family, for the WWE, the show must go on. So we will do the show must go on, Heel. And man, let's talk about the a little bit of downer, but we'll get it up. AEW, it was Wednesday night, Fyter Fight. Again, the month-long feud between Eddie and Kingston, Chris Jericho, was going to come to a head Wednesday night with a brutal Barbed Wire Everywhere match. That was the headline of night 2. And he had other types of bouts. We'll kick off all in all for AEW. We started off with the first match, a weird one, a lot of mixed reactions. Darby Allin taking on Brody King. Now, let's set this up. Brody King has attacked Darby Allin outside on sign-ins, outside of the arenas, and when in meet and greets. There's some heat there. Before they kicked off the match with no spoilers, what was your thought of that heat promo? Did it get you invested to want to now sit down and watch this and let alone the opening match?
I guess kind of, but I mean, here's the thing about Darby Allin. He's one of those wrestlers you just want to see more and more of. Like, when I mean more of, I mean like you're gonna see him in a much bigger role because he really deserves it. But I mean, I don't know. AEW makes it weird because it's not like they're not giving him anything important to do because they are giving him like major feuds, but at the same time, it's like Darby Allin kind of can do more for this company. He should be competing for like entire big time title matches, at least mid card titles. But they just want to give him these nice mid card feuds, and it's just like, okay, I guess that's good enough. So you can't really be mad at them, but at the same time, you can't really. You just want more. That's honestly just what sums up his career so far in AEW. Just you want more, and I don't know. I guess it was just kind of like solid. I'll be honest with you, though, I was kind of like, what is Darby Allin wearing? When he was like wearing the like booty shorts, or whatever. I was like, okay, Darby. I know you. That's your style, but come on, man. but yeah, and I guess this match was okay. It was fine as an opener, but I don't know. It was there for me. Probably a solid match.
All right, the match. We saw, Brody King with so much, was bigger, was dominant, overpowering and overwhelming Darby Allin times. And of course, I like that Darby Allin in this match showed a lot of Brody King's brutality, getting tossed everywhere. He looked like a rag doll. And it wasn't a squash match, kind of felt it, but good kudos to Darby Allin selling it, putting Brody King over. I'm happy that Brody King where he's at. I know some people didn't like the match with him and Moxley. I personally would have liked to see this kind of match first, and then you're giving me a week later or 2 weeks later, maybe Moxley and Brody King. Although even I'm fine even with the outcome of Moxley defending his title against a Brody King. I'm not saying Brody King with this match he's got to win the AEW Interim title, but by him beating the way he beat Darby Allin tonight, and he said that he got that pop. I would have loved them that momentum to carry into fighting Moxley, because now you're like, oh, whoa, this guy was impressive against Darby Allin. Now, Moxley's gonna have some trouble. I thought that I would have liked that, and I also was like, someone's got something wrong here, although not really, because I do like Brody King, and it looks like he's a former indie wrestler, not an ex-WWE wrestler, and you're seeing they're pushing him, to be a monster. That's the kind of that match where I know Orange Cassidy is over, and I love Orange Cassidy myself, but that's what Warlow needed to do in this first title defense. That kind of dominance, I wish they would have done it with Warlow, not Brody King. But again, I am a big Brody King fan, and there's not much I can say I like about AEW a lot. I am, if you see my Twitter handles, and I kind of say a lot of negative towards AEW, but there is a lot of good talent. I always said that the women's wrestling I'm fascinated with the women's wrestling because I think they have great ladies, but they're being booked wrong. But I don't want to move away. My point is, I don't crap on AEW totally. I just nitpick, their main event stuff, and their orders is discombobulated. All in all, the match I thought was kind of a squash match. I love the way Brody King got the victory. He looks like a monster, ready to go. Now, after the match is over, and Brody King wins this match, what do you thought about that extracurricular stuff? AEW, they love to bring extracurricular stuff. It's like when you're like, us being Latin, and especially in our Latin culture, when we want to get together with family, you always got the family members, go for the photo, come on. I don't know if your family, I know, my family, they would love to take photos. God bless my family in Miami, they love to take photos a lot. And they're like, oh, la foto. Everybody, come in for the picture. And it seems like AEW, they send everybody out. Come on, go out. The match is over. Everyone come out, show your face. What was your thoughts on that?
Again, I'm probably gonna talk about this every day, but I'm tired of this AEW way of booking. I'm already sick of it. It's kind of like sweets, I guess. When you get older, you have it once, it's really good. Have it twice, okay. You have it too many times, you're like, I'm sick of it. I want to go back to just eating the way I was. And that's what this is. It's
because yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and again, I'm just tired of it. No offense to AEW fans or or whatever, because again, you do have a good product, at least, especially if it's your taste. But the theme of this review is just going to be how I'm sick of AEW's booking, and that goes for this too. I'm sick of this overbooking. Just get everyone on TV. Just go out there, do your thing, and whatever. It's like whoever's booking this, I'll be honest with you, booking these feuds, at least most of them, I'm starting to think they must be either a psychopath, because the old saying, if you keep repeating the same thing over again,
insanity. Definition of insanity.
Yeah, and expecting it to work, or either that, or they must be like in fifth or fourth grade, and they think this is just the way you book everything. I don't know, but I'm sick of it.
Okay, I mean, hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Me personally, it's like we all saw, just to give you a little more in depth. We saw at the end of that match they were beating Darby Allin. You saw Malachi Black come out, Sting. You saw in the ring, you saw Brody held in Sting, and the miss. By the way, that miss was more on Brody than on Sting. My God, you can't even buy, and of course, and this is a criticism. Maybe AEW, and I respect what they do. They allow these professional wrestlers to have matches and go visit the indie circuits on Saturdays and AAA. They want to be so much. Oh yeah, you can work here. Yeah. We go. Yeah, you can work for all these small independents. And this is they need to do more house shows. These guys, they're professionals. They're in ring, and then look at who am I? I'm sitting behind a keyboard, but still, I want to make a point where is that they need to. I don't know if they're practicing these matches, rehearsal, or going through walkthroughs, because it's not just. It's almost the whole roster so freaking damn sloppy. And I know people love it. They're like, and I hate to say that, they're marks, because AEW, this is awesome. You think you calling this is awesome when you can't even get a freaking miss on Sting, who's being held there correctly done? There's a guy on Twitter and he has nothing but 3 Twitter handles on AEW botches, and every freaking show he's got like 7 to 8 botches of cuts from matches. And look, and I hate when you might call me tribal, WWE tribal, but I like to watch the AEW because it's something different. Yes, I like the concept when you started, when you wanted to be an indie. You were featuring indie wrestlers. There was a few ex-WWE, but guys who were out in the indie circuit, New Japan, you're showing us something different. And now you're becoming sloppy, like complacent. Come here, ex-WWE guys. You only have to work once a week. You don't have to do house shows. You don't have to, go here, 1 minute here, Monday Night Raw, then you got to travel here. No, and it's once a week, and it's showing the product, and it's becoming sloppy heel. I could go on hours on
I
that
agree. Rant. Yeah, and like I said, this is going to be the theme of the review, because they book everything the same. It seems like every week now.
And I like Brody King. I really do. I love Darby Allin. And I was like, Darby Allin, he's different. He comes out with with the skateboard skeleton face. I like that. It's something different. You don't see that in WWE. Like a Darby Allin. You could say he could be a cosplay of Jeff Hardy, but there's something different with Darby Allin. A Brody King, the Big Bear. That's something different. He's not a Braun Strowman wannabe. He's his own guy. I like that. But then this crap that you give us, these botches, this sloppiness, and then you have the nerve. Then you get another interference with Miro. Okay, all right. Right now, I'm thinking the storyline is House of Black taking on Darby and Sting getting there to save his buddy. Now they're going to set up a tag match. Then all of a sudden, it's like you're shoving another 10-pound of crap in a 5-pound bag, and then Miro comes out like an idiot. I'm like, okay, what are you going to do, Miro? He just stands there like a freaking idiot. And I don't know what the people see in Miro that they love him. He sucked in. He's Rusev. He sucked in WWE. He's gonna suck in AEW. What's the big love for him? I don't see Miro. All he does is why? Because his wife shows her crotch and fans only. That's why you love him. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's like, okay, give me something, Miro. Go in there. You know what? You want to impress me? Go in there, kick their asses. Go save Sting. You're really gonna get some heat. You stand there like a moron. You know, it's like, okay. So why did you waste our time? And I'll get why they waste that 10 minutes of crap wasted into a great match. You know, could have been a great match in the barbed wire match. You took time away, especially one little part, because the match, it's so much. This, if you are an AEW fan, I apologize for saying that we hateful. No, because we give it to Raw too when it sucks. And I know where. Stay tuned. It will come. It's gonna come. I'm telling you. And I'm like, okay, it's like, man, what are we doing here? It's like, it was like, dude, what are we doing here? You're giving the same story, the wrong storyline to the wrong people. Warlord should have been this, that, and I'm like, what are you doing, Miro? Get out. You know, it's like it pisses me off because there was potential here. Now I can see why Cody left. I can see it. You know, I can see the match was a good match, and all this extracurricular stuff killed it. It killed it. It's like, oh my god, you know, the chops, the freaking chops that he was hitting him with. You know, I loved it. But we move on. We'll move on, heel. I hate to go on that rant like that. You know, maybe I'm listening. But I just, you know, and the thing is, I want AEW to do well. But the point is now, I'm hoping if, you know, and it shows by the attendance records, by the way. That don't Tony Khan, stop BSing.
And I do think Miro has some talent. I just think it's not being showcased as good as it can be. Because, you know, the whole Rusev Day thing, they get over in WWE. But in AEW, he's kind of like, oh, I'm here for like a cup of coffee or however long, and then he disappears again. Kind of like every other WWE.
I'm a redeemer. Redeemer of what? Redeemer of what? What are you going to redeem? You're redeeming what? The fact that your wife is on OnlyFans and make money? That's how you're only over. But I guarantee he wasn't a hot wife. He didn't have a hot wife. He would be nobody. Seriously. Because that's what everyone is dying for, her to come out. That's what with her as you know. I regress. Now here's more. You want to talk about more rants? I mean, it's coming. The next match, we have John Moxley, and the interim champion with Wheeler Yuta taking out the Best Friends. Now, I like Moxley sometimes. I understand he's the interim champion, but for a freaking interim champion, and that's good, he comes out too much. He wrestles too much. He's too much. I know I complain, if you hear me, I complain the living crap out. I'm tired of Roman Reigns. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. Oh, you know what to talk about WWE. Here's the thing. I want the titles off of Roman Reigns. It's not working for me. He's got to go. You know, he's going to be part-timer, or you don't want to come, or you know, Haley's Comet. Roman Reigns got to drop those titles. I'm going on a major wrestling rant here. You know, to me, he doesn't work. He's got to, you know, get him off. If it's Brock Lesnar, I hope Austin Theory wins the titles and give me a guy who wants to wrestle, wants to be there every week. Now, Moxley fights too much. It's okay though. He's a good in-ring competitor because he makes his competitors over heel. Now you got this good match. You know, the Best Friends Club. I understand. We know that they're gonna get squashed, right? The match was good. And despite the fact I'm going on this rant too much, the match was good. You had good match back and forth. You know, I like they told the storyline with Wheeler Yuta being I think Beretta's protege or under his wing. The match was great, but here's the thing that I freaking get mad with. The thing that pissed the living daylights out of me. Wheeler Yuta gets power drive twice in a row. Spike power driver twice. He motherfucker kicks out. I'm sorry I had to curse. I'm sorry I had to swear.
Yeah.
He kicked out of that. And then the match gets a victory on a roll-up. A roll-up is the finish a couple seconds later on a roll-up. Tell me, heel. Talk to me. Get me out of the ledge.
As I was watching the show, I was realizing to myself, I was like, this doesn't feel like a big company anymore. Like, I hate to keep saying it, but ever since MJF left, who felt like a big deal, who felt like a big star, ever since MJF left, this feels more like a glorified indie show. It really does. And MJF again was that guy that felt that made this company feel like it was at least kind of mainstream. Now, ever since he's been gone, this has just been glorified indie company 2.0. And yes, I get it. The people that watch this, they love that stuff. They eat that up. They want to see people get killed, and then they wanted to end on the most like ridiculous thing ever. And I'll be honest with you, there's this joke between me and Adam. We even said it on the show. You know, whoever is a baseball fan, you'll get this reference. You know, we because since Dean, I almost called him Dean Ambrose. Since Jon Moxley comes out to Wild Thing, we just call him Charlie Sheen. And it does make him more entertaining as a champion because let's be honest, Jon Moxley is one of those guys who he's good in a hardcore environment, but if you put him in a straight up wrestling match, and not only that, he doesn't really have that charisma or that it factor to him or anything like that, so he's really boring. But if he, again, to me and Adam, not saying Adam hates him or anything like that as much as I do, but for me personally, if I just pretend he's Charlie Sheen for some reason, he becomes a lot more entertaining. That's just me. It's like I need something in my imagination to make sure Moxley's more bearable, I guess you can say. And it's no offense to Moxley, but this is why you got released and why Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins stayed, because you didn't have nothing to separate you from the pack. You didn't have nothing that said main event wrestler. I mean, let's be honest. At WrestleMania, you didn't even have a good match with Brock Lesnar. You couldn't even pull off a clean, good match with Brock Lesnar because you couldn't have a nice spot fest. And that's just the truth. Moxley is nothing but a spot fest monkey. And I'm not talking about flips and kicks. I'm talking about putting people at their tables, that kind of stuff. Weapons, you name it.
But yeah. I'm gonna say this real quick. But his matches with the Japanese wrestler that last week, he puts talent over though. He makes those talents look good. There's some credibility on Moxie, at least in that set.
There is, but it's really rare. Those kind of matches you don't see all the time from him. Like I remember, it was another wrestler, I don't remember. Well, they literally asked a question. Name me one. At the time, his name was Dean Ambrose, but right now they said, name me one Jon Moxley match you can remember that was great. And I'm just like, I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah, I was like, I really don't know. So yes, he's a solid guy with a big name, especially if we put the Dean Ambrose name behind him. But I'll be honest with you, he comes across like a solid mid-carder. Yeah, it's just the truth.
And I get it, and I didn't have a problem with him in the match, other than he might be wrestling too much, but it's okay. Maybe one night take a, and I understand when he was champion the first time around, there was nobody. It was the pandemic, and and it looks great. Don't get me wrong. Him coming out Wild Thing through the crowd gets into it. It does look great aesthetically on TV. It looks great. It does. Yeah, I gotta give credit where credit's due. I can admit it.
Yeah, but you know what Jon Moxley is, and again, if as baseball fans you'll get this. I mean, Kev, granted, you're a lot more nicer, I guess, to baseball than I am. I don't know, but he's really the AL Central of baseball. Okay. He may seem good right now, but then when it gets to the big time, he looks completely out of his league.
Yeah, I agree with doing that. No, the good analogy. Good analogy. He's still a major leaguer. Yeah, and he could be viable for a World Series, but when it comes down to I get you.
When it comes down to the big fights, game over.
Yeah. You made a good analogy there with that. Yeah. And he wasn't my problem. It was the selling of please rest W please, and it happens sometimes in WWE as well. Well, in wrestling, period. There's a problem in the wrestling is the non-selling of these folks' moves. Finishers should be special. The kickout should be in special events, in a Wrestle Kingdom, in a Starcade, Starcast type of match, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Double or Nothing. That's when those special moves should be kicked out, not a random Wednesday in Tahoe, or Monday Night Raw in Poughkeepsie. These special moves shouldn't be kicked out. There should be something special when these wrestlers put a finishing move, when they put that, especially the double, that just burned me. Double power driver in a row to the same freaking wrestler, and he kicks out like nothing. And who is that? I understand he's the pure champion, ROH, but he has no cachet in the business to be kicking out of 2 power drivers. He's not Hulk Hogan. He's not a big main star. I could see if you would have told me they did that to Dean Ambrose, aka John Moxley, the champion, and he kicked out, I say fine. You know what? Okay, I'm all right with that. But Will freaking Ayuda, who didn't even win the Super Juniors in New Japan Wrestling, and he's kicking out of 2 power drivers. That what takes wrestling to people, the casuals or non-casuals trying to get into. This is so damn fake.
Yeah,
and I hate that.
And even though I'm a hardcore fan, in terms of like knowing where wrestlers are from and all that, I still love to enjoy it from a casual's perspective, if that makes sense. Because
of course,
there's nothing more enjoyable than just seeing a nice, pure story being told in the ring. That it's like that old saying, sometimes the best thing to do is just old school type of stuff. In this case, that will always be true with wrestling. Just a nice old school match is the best way to do stuff. And when you try to overdo things in wrestling, what happens? It comes across as the F word, FAKE. Yeah.
No, and they don't like to. Yeah. And you know what? And let's respect. These the outcome of the term. The outcome is predetermined. Yes, in wrestling. But these performers in the ring, nothing there is fake, man. All those power drivers, all those moonsaults. All the armbar, everything there is skill, it's work, it's athleticism, it's talent. It is not fake. Those things that are doing, they're busting their ass, they go home sore, hurt, injured. They put their bodies on their line. It's not fake. It's the outcome is, but when you start power driving like that, it brings that word into play, and I hate that because it's everyone that ever laces up their boots, even if they're a jobber, they should that's a disrespect to everybody who laces up the boots. If you're doing that and you're making it look like that, and I hope that's the first and last time. I hope there's enough of a backlash that they can't have this no more. I hope this is a lesson learned. You get and they move forward because, man, that really pissed me off, and I've been watching wrestling for and it's not how big is my knowledge or how long I've been watching it. But I've been watching it since, like I said, '82, and yes, look, heck, Andy Kaufman, and on 2020, before I got punched in the ear for calling wrestling fake, and you remember, Google that happened in the '80s. I think it was Jerry Lawler, punched the crap out of a reporter in 2020 and said if wrestling's fake, and wrestlers don't like to hear that, and it's true. It's not. They put their bodies on the line, but when this comes like this, you opening the door for the skeptics, and I hope they learn from that, man. As we move on with that, the match was, okay, but I just didn't like that heel.
Yeah, let's more to rant about. So let's say.
Yes, let's make some more. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then we have the celebration. They're going to celebrate here the new tag team champions, Swerve and Keith Lee. Congratulations. But remember, if you remember last week, Keith Lee threatened to take time off from wrestling because he wasn't supposedly in a good place mentally, and they gave him the tag titles. Now he's happy as pig and shit.
Yeah, so pretty much they gave him the titles because, hey, I'm not happy because I haven't been a champion yet in the AEW. Tony Khan, hey, want to be a tag team champion? Sure, now I'll stay.
Now he has no problem. He has no problem now, despite the fact that his tag team partner was going to turn on him. Okay, I mean, that's a storyline. You know what? That might be a storyline there. But for you to go on social media, because you use the social media platform, and it's there on Twitter, folks. None of this stuff is being made up. And go to Keith Lee's Twitter handle. He threatened to quit. He says, no matter what the outcome is of tonight, whatever the case, I'm there for my boys, so forth. And he was talking about leaving the wrestling for a while to clear his head. And of course, Tony gives him the title. Good for you. Hey, good for you. No, it's not hating. Although every week I say, Keith Lee, you suck. I'm glad they got the title, but not at the way like that. But then you have Mark Sterling. Now, what Mark Sterling? They don't know what another over too much talent. He was with the baddies. They bring in Stokely because he was the next WWE. We're gonna put him with the baddie now. Mark Stokely's doing comedy bits. It's like, okay, comedy's fine. I have no problem with that. WWE does a shitload of comedy bits. You know, when it comes to the 24/7 title and so forth. They, you know, sometimes it's corny as heck. They're the king of comedy, corny bits. But you see this here. They're in Atlanta. You know, all in all, the rapper ends up hitting, with a cake in the face. All right, it is what it is. What's your thoughts on that? Because I don't want to spend too much time.
I forget about the cake in the face thing. It's whatever. but apparently, with the Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, whatever you want to call him, the thing that sets a bad example for the wrestlers backstage is apparently what they are learning is that, hey, if we bitch and moan and cry about how we're not getting a title here in this company, and if we're big enough, especially WWE guys, that means we can get our title too eventually. Well, Twitter, here we come. Yeah, that's basically what you're teaching your employees, and that's a bad example.
And they can use MJF's promo bomb for that, because MJF wants is to get paid. He didn't say I needed the world title. I just want to get paid equally what you're paying these WWE guys.
And he deserved it. And he was right. He deserved it. Yeah.
That's right. And yes.
Still to this day, his promo is being talked about. And where is he? He's nowhere to be found.
He's nowhere to be found. And meanwhile, we shall see what happens here, how long they hold these titles.
So basically, Tony Khan, what you're telling me is you have a guy named MJF that gets over naturally with your audience to the point where people want him to hold the title again by getting over naturally, and what you do is decide to kick him off of TV for just asking for basically more respect and more money. He was just asking. He didn't get on Twitter or cry about it, nothing like that. But Keith Lee, he gets on Twitter, cries about it and everything like that, and you give Keith Lee exactly what he wants. Okay, then. I guess that's what MJF should have done from the get-go, then. Instead of trying to be entertaining and try to do it the right way.
And listen.
Okay.
He bought some eyeballs when he went on Ariel Helwani's show. When they asked him about his free agency, he says, listen, I'm going to be a free agent in 2024. And whoever pays me more money, I'm going to listen. I'm more like to, he didn't say I'm leaving to go to WWE. I hate it here. He never said anything negative about AEW. He just said, I'm going to listen to both offers, and whoever gives me more money, I'm going to go. Nothing wrong with that, heel. There's nothing wrong with that.
And now that Vince is retired and Triple H and stuff, now everyone thinks, them. They love their indie talent.
Yeah.
And they're going to be bidding as high as possible for MJF. Because Triple H, he pays attention to the indies. And he's going to be loving him some MJF. That's going to be probably his future. Probably no.
You never know that. You never know. It'll be interesting to see there. Yeah, and now we have a match here, which I was like, okay, I got excited though, because one, being an old school, I see his son. We had the Varsity Blondes, Christian Cage, and Luchasaurus. Brian Pillman Jr. Of course, Brian Pillman. Brian Bryant, I was a fan of him in WCW before he went to ECW and before he ended up in WWE. I liked him, Brian Pillman. I've seen his career, from when he was a rookie from the power plant and just where until on this unfortunate passing, I've been a fan of him. I see his son looks a little bit like him, at times. Son looks, and I said, okay, I already knew that I had no hopes that they were going to win this because Christian Cage is so over with his promos and stuff. Of course, the match, regular squash match, you saw. I like the fact Christian, when Luchasaurus had everything settled for, and so he tagged himself in for the pin. I like that too. Tell me about that before we get to the extra stuff that happens.
Yeah, I think I can just speak for all when I say we love what Christian and Cage is doing right now. I won't just call him Christian, but I'll just call him Christian Cage, I guess, for now. Yeah, I think we all just love what him and Luchasaurus are doing right now. It's great work. One of the few things to actually look forward to in AEW.
It was. I say was in a past tense because out comes the music. Oh, we get to see Jungle Boy, which we all eventually is going to happen. And one thing that I'm a little bit fuzzy with it was he comes, Luchasaurus stands in front of him, and Luchasaurus just turns to the side. I don't know, wasn't clear. Was he united with Jungle Boy? And if he did, I thought it was too soon. What's your thoughts on that? You know, I knew Luchasaurus was going to turn on Christian, but I wanted to say let it build up. I thought it was a little too soon.
Well, like we've been saying, and we said this even when Luchasaurus just randomly decided to join Christian's side. For some reason, AEW doesn't like to build things up. They just say, "All right, you're heel, you're face, you're this, you're that." You know, they never built anything up, and even I was like confused at what was happening on my screen. I was just like, okay, where is this gonna go? I don't know. I really have no words to say. I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because I would have liked a chase here. You know, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, you know, let them go. You know, even if Luchasaurus loses to Jungle Boy, he's let him be the buffer for him to not get his hands on Christian Cage. You could have built it because you got weeks until September. You got like 4 to 5 weeks before their pay-per-view. You could have had a build up here, trying to get Jungle Boy trying to get his hands on Christian Cage and can't until finally, you know, the pay-per-view coming up in September. Boom! It would have been phenomenal, but him moving away and chase and Jungle Boy, you know, was trying to chase Christian Cage, and Jungle Boy had to slow down because he almost caught up to Christian Cage. If you noticed that when they were going over out there, it's like, so I was like, I would have loved more Luchasaurus protecting Cage Christian a little more, like to build that storyline. But they know what they're doing, so they're the writers. They know what they're doing. May not appease us, so. But it to me it gave me more fuzz than clarity.
Yeah, let's be honest. Like, I think we noticed this ever since we started watching AEW. They're not really aiming towards us, old school or storyline based wrestling fans. Like we've been saying for a while, they're aiming more towards the people that don't care about stories or like that. They're aiming more towards we just want good matches, that type of fans.
And that's good and all. That's good and all, but you're gonna get stale. You're gonna get box yourself in a corner because once they get done, you're not gonna be able to captivate the new people that you turned rejected. Like I ain't going to that. That's that. So that's
I'll be honest with you, I don't see myself ever. Like if AEW ever said we're coming to Dallas, Texas, I don't ever see myself being like, man, I gotta go give me those AEW tickets.
My sons have gone twice already. Both of my sons, both times. They went to Jacksonville when they had the first Stadium Stampede, when they allowed fans, they were there. Yeah. And when they came to Orlando, Florida, they were there. Next time AEW does return to Orlando, I plan, me and my wife, we talked about it because we are great and we love going to NXT every week, you know, and of course, and we grew up on WWE. Me and my wife, you know, we said, you know what, let's go one time and see it ourselves in person because it's easier to see it on TV and knock it and not dislike it and nitpick it without going. Because my sons, they like it. They say they had fun. They come back excited.
I bet in person it's phenomenal because you see the crowd, they're excited for everything. And I bet just like at a concert or something, you can't help but get involved. Correct. Because everyone seems really excited. So I bet it's 100% completely different in person compared to on TV. Because in person I think your mind get so caught up in everyone cheering, you lose all focus on like what they're actually supposed to be building towards.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to Monday Night Raws. I've been to SmackDown. I've been to WrestleMania, SummerSlam. You know, you name it. I have to check out AEW. I've been to ECW. I love ECW. You know, ECW. The crowd reminds me of NXT. You know, the NXT to being there live. I'm not saying that the talent and the wrestling matches are like NXT to ECW. No, I'm not comparing them. I'm saying the crowd, the experience. You know, in the ECW in New York, in Scarsdale, you know, in the Westchester, you know, when they went, you know, I used to go there a lot. And that's where I'm comparing with NXT. It's an intimate crowd, an intimate gathering, and it was really great. I think NXT, to me, it reminds me, it brings me that back to those good memories there. Like Monday Night Raw used to be in the Manhattan Center. You know, I've been to that Manhattan Center of Monday Night Raw. That felt like NXT. You know, that kind of atmosphere was great with it. You know, I have to, you know, before I knock, I have to attend AEW myself personally. And like you said, if I gotta pick and choose, I think I'll be honest with you, I go to NXT before I go AEW. If you ask me, that's me. That's me.
Because I'll be honest with you, I like Braun Breaker more than I do, unless you count MJF. But I like Braun Breaker more than I do. I would say almost, if not more than any other AEW wrestler right now. I think Braun Breaker is like one of the future like mainstays of wrestling. Like that guy is gonna be phenomenal.
Yes.
Like I don't even care or about NXT like that, but I like watching Braun Breaker clips and all that. And the guy seems like he's gonna be the next big deal.
Yeah, he's on his way. And speaking about NXT, we'll get to the next match here. But before we get to the next match with the former NXT wrestler, we had a promo in the back. Now I'm like, what in the world? Am I really gonna Friday night to watch this rap battle between is it Austin Gunn and one of the Acclaims and the Gun in a rap battle? Why?
Yeah. I think I remember saying that, and I was like, "Is R-Truth gonna come out?"
I mean, I get it that you want to break the Gun Club and Acclaim, which they should have. They were getting over as a facet with the Scissor Me. Guys were loving it, and people, and everywhere. Even in NXT, we saw a few people with the Scissor Me Daddy. I was like, "Whoa, okay, it's catchy." Even though it looks stupid.
I hated
two men. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was getting over, It
was getting over. It would know. I didn't like, two guys. I'm old school. Well, man, two men doing scissors. I mean, okay. But I get. Yeah, it was getting over. It was getting over. It was getting momentum.
It made you question a few people. Let's not catch ourselves. But
yeah,
you were okay, it's wrestling and it's gonna go over. Whatever.
I saw two strangers doing that. I was like looking and they were talking. Go, Sesame Daddy, and I'm like, oh, look at these two.
Yeah, maybe they were lovebirds. I don't know. Anyway, it's catchy.
It's two different people. It was
it's catchy to say, probably.
And that's why I question why they broke that, but they have their reasoning. So we'll move on. Then we have, speaking of NXT, we have the FTW Championship, Ricky Starks versus Cole Carter, and formerly known as Two Dimes. Hey, my main man Tony D'Angelo, which I got on the camera. They gave me on the NXT board. I had my Tony Tony D'Angelo gave me the blessing as the Don of the Watch Along. So as you see, I'm the BX Sport Jedi, now known as the Don of the Watch Along. Oh!
By the way, if you're watching this, don't forget about the Yankee Watch Along later on today.
Later on tonight, so the Don will be on. Yeah. So here's Ricky Stark. By the way, Cole Coulter, our next WWE, regardless. He failed for not performance enhancing, violation of wellness policy. We don't know what it was, what it is. Obviously, he has some substance that he wasn't regulated by WWE, and a blood test failed. Now, that happened 2 weeks ago. You're telling me on a week he wrestled Saturday on Dark in Orlando, and he made his. And I'm happy for Cole Coulter, Mr. Troy Donovan. That's his real name. I met him backstage, and and he is a phenomenal. He is an awesome dude. I'm really happy that he's getting employed and he's on TV because I really like Troy Donovan as a person. He was always good with the crowd, always talk, say hello, very humble kid. I'm happy in that aspect. Don't get me wrong, but he failed the drug test or whatever the case was. You're telling me AEW, you're bringing him in without testing him, and you're okay with that? What message does that send, Heel?
That's hypocritical to Jeff Hardy too, because granted, it's still a big deal, but compared to like a drug, I'll be honest with you, I think over drinking for one night, it's a lot less impactful than getting, a little bit cuckoo. But yeah,
but we don't know exactly what it was because I guess HIPAA law and protection. WWE did not say what it was that the wellness policy was about. What he failed
True.
about. So
True.
it could have been a over-the-counter GMC product that enhances performance. That it could be something simple and minimal.
Either way, if you're Jeff Hardy, you're like, wait a minute. So you're suspending me for like drinking one night in the party, but yet you hire a guy without even drug testing him? Okay, whatever.
It was a little sketchy there, but like I said, I'm happy for Troy Donovan, Cole Carter, who went by his Indies name when he wrestled in Pittsburgh. And one thing, when I saw this match started, and I love it. Me, everyone knows that I love Ricky Starks. Everyone knows how much I've been saying. They're not using Ricky Starks. He is a phenomenal performer. I'm a huge fan of Ricky Starks. Then I saw FTW, Cole Coulter. I thought Cole Coulter was actually going to win. And I thought he was actually going to win that match. And I said, damn, he's going to lose. They're going to take that title. And all I thought about, what in the heck are they doing with Hook?
Yeah, where is Hook?
He just comes out in the same old dry toast promo. It looks like they took Danhausen away from him.
Yeah,
because now they took him away. The Hookhausen was over. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. And now, yeah.
I was excited for that too. Remember when they made a big deal about it? Oh, here's Hookhausen. Next thing you know, nothing.
Yeah, he actually and Hook actually suplexed the living crap out of CM Punk in USB Arena in New York. And that obviously wasn't shown on TV. That was a dark match after the match, fact, when he was with Hookhausen. And they just poof. And of course, you saw Taz reiterate that the FTW title is not a real title. It's not a sanctioned title by AEW. But so I guess he's like, don't expect a title change. Maybe he was trying to protect himself there. I don't know what it was, but Ricky Stark, great performance. You saw him do a little bit of a tribute of walking the ropes like the Undertaker with a little bit of Jeff Jarrett strut. He is so talented, Ricky Starks. I could go on here for about 45 minutes how much I really like Ricky Starks, the talent, the way he wrestles, the way he moves in the arena, in the ring. And I was impressed with Cole Coulter because in NXT, I guess he was limited with the moves he was allowed to do against with the wrestlers, but he looked good too. I was impressed by both wrestlers. What's your thought on the match?
Yeah, at this point, though, in the show, I was already starting to get out of it. And again, sometimes there are just those matches that no matter how good they are, unless they're like megastars, I guess, they suffer in terms of like how bad the show is being booked. Because it's like that old saying, and I think I said it before in the streams, your booking style shows us how serious you're taking your shows. And considering your shows have been booked the same for the last month or so, tells your fan base, hey, we don't really care about our shows as much as you think we do. We're kind of just going to stick stuff on there and hope it sticks. And if you like it, that's great. If you don't, honestly, deep down, we really don't care. And that's kind of the vibe I got from the show. So I was like, fine, if you're not going to care, neither am I.
It's funny because the first few years they started off, like I was saying when I used to watch this, and I remember telling my sons before I had the wrestling podcast, I said, my sons used to get a little upset with me, but I used to say, guys, this is WCW copy and paste. Because you have some good matches, people were into it, and then at the end of the match, the last 5 minutes, they will bring a new wrestler from either the WWE wrestler makes his appearance out of nowhere, like Moxley. The name. If you watch AEW, you know it. It's true.
Yeah.
And they went away from that. Now they're doing is almost the same, over and over, rinse and repeat, like you said, like you just finished saying. It's like, like okay, it's like.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Ricky Starks and all the talent. I don't want them to suffer from how bad the show is being booked. I want them to feel like what they're doing is important. But it's hard as a viewer, especially like look at all the stuff we have to do around us. And Kev, I assume not just their laptops and all that, but I assume we have other nice things like a nice TV, maybe even a console or something like that. Like look at all the cool stuff like us human beings have to do nowadays. Like I'm sorry, but in order for us fans to get invested in your show, you have to show us that you care first, and on top of that, put a good show out there on a weekly basis. Like I have a PS4 right now. Even though I'm on this show, and I love to do the show. Like I honestly don't know what to keep talking about, because all they do is keep doing the same stuff, because like I said, they don't care. And that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, I'd rather play my video game because it's more entertaining to me. Because it's like, if you're not going to care about your show, like I said, then fine, I'll just do something else. And I'm pretty sure a lot of fans feel the same way, because it's like, okay, fine, if you're not going to care about your show, if you're not going to do this, then fine, I'll just go do something else too. And who knows, maybe there's other passions too. Probably you'll just like to, I don't know. For all I know, there's probably someone that has nieces or something at their house, and they'll probably get distracted with something simple like that. You know what I mean? Like, bottom line is, if you want our attention, I'm sorry, but especially in this day and age, you're gonna have to work for it, and that goes for anything on television.
I get what you mean there, but I'm not, because of mismanagement of their slots or their booking or the storyline, the creative. I'm not going to penalize the in-ring performers.
I'm not penalizing them. I just want to make that clear.
I know. I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna honor and watch Ricky Stark go at it. A Colt, Troy Donovan. Even despite the fact we agree that he shouldn't be in the ring or not for what happened, I'm still gonna give him that courtesy of watching that match. Should it have been in that time slot, or should it have been there? We could debate about it, but all in all, we saw Ricky Starks get the victory, and he immediately says, "Bring the next one." I thought he wanted another match. Taz was having a fit, and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck happened?" I thought Hook was. That's when I thought Hook was going to come out.
Yeah, I know, Kev. I know what you mean, but let's be honest. People nowadays have a short attention span, and if you don't keep that attention span, then what are you? Obviously, you're doing something wrong.
No, I agree. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And that open challenge for Ricky Stark, music comes out, Danhausen.
Yeah, and I was actually excited to see him. I was like, because right now, Danhausen is one of the. I know Adam likes to laugh at me for this, but I like Danhausen, and some people, especially AEW fans, don't understand why, and it's because he's actually a character. He's a character that I'm going to remember. He's a character that I enjoy right now. Yes, and you know what's funny? He doesn't even wrestle that much. I enjoy watching Danhausen because he's actually one of the few wrestlers that actually has a character, a gimmick, something to work with. Like, he's really entertaining to me personally. And when I saw him come out, to me, it was a big deal. Because I'd rather watch him do his thing, his stick, than watch the same old stuff for like almost 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, he's different. He's not your everyday AEW wrestler where it's like, look at me, I can have a good old match with a few botches. No, he comes out, he does his gimmick. You're just like, this is what I want to see. I want to see wrestling. And I'm sorry, characters are a part of wrestling, whether you like it or not. And rather he fails or succeeds off of booking in AEW. Like I told Adam, I'm gonna remember Danhausen for years to come. Why? Because he has a memorable gimmick. And gimmicks, no matter how bad or good they are the main things that live around for years to come. Like he's a gimmick that I'm gonna look back 20 years from now and be like, why do I remember that gimmick? Oh yeah, because he was actually entertaining and he stood out from the crowd.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, we move on. We'll move on there with it. Mostly, and we know it's going to be for next week. As Ricky Stark says, nope, that's for next week. So we got that set up there. I think to see what's going to happen between how Danhausen and Ricky Stark. Let's see. Hopefully they give Ricky Stark, Danhausen and Ricky Stark have a good show, a good match. But I think some shenanigans might happen there. But let's see. We shall see. We shall see there. We had a quick promo with Shivani in the ring with the Ring of Honor, IGWT, WGP, AAA, WW. Let me see what else. Well, I'm trying to figure out whatever federation that you think of, Toilet Bowl Federation, whatever, the FTR with all the titles there. I love the promo though, that he talked about his daughter fighting and bringing a little bit of real life into the real world about into the ring, fighting for that hole in her heart. It was touching. I liked it. Hopefully no one makes really fun out of it. It's respect because he's giving us a peek into his world, what motivates him to be a great ring wrestler, performer. Though I could tell you their promos, and I always said they're like Bret Hart, they're boring. To me, I think FTRs are boring on the mic. I think they're great wrestlers, but not last night because it was from the heart, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think we have anything to say there. I'm hoping it's the only thing that we found out of that. It's going to be a 2, which I am invested in Ring of Honor for some reason. I never watched these all brand wrestling. Ring of Honor is Ring of Honor, but I am invested tomorrow. I will be watching the Ring of Honor. I'm contemplating a watch along or not for Ring of Honor. I do want to see it. I am a little because 2 out of 3 falls with the Briscoe brothers. I mean, that's going to be a good match there. I hope that's the main event, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to want to watch Ring of Honor because, again, just wrestling is not really my thing. Although I will say, I like I said, I'm a fan of Jay Lethal, and I have been wanting him to get pushed. Again, another guy I'll be honest with you, I feel like his years have been wasted. Just because he's always, it's either A, he's gone to the wrong company, or B, the company that had him I just feel like didn't really use him right, because he should have been a way bigger star than what he should have been. The biggest he's ever been has been in TNA Impact, and we all know about the promo with Flair and the Black Machismo, the Macho Man gimmick. I mean, again, I can go on about Jay Lethal's career, but again, definitely a guy that was misused, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, but we'll see. That's the they're setting up a little bit of depth before Dishonor pay-per-view. That will be on Saturday night. So that'll be interesting there. We got it to another. Well, let's go right to the 9:30 slot, the usual 9:30 slot. The women, where I always have an issue. I always say the women should, whatever. I'm not going to go on the rant. We ranted so much.
Welcome to the 9:30 slot or 9 o'clock slot.
And of course, you see the ladies. You have a tag team. It's going to be Athena with Willa Nightingale, with Jake Cargill, Kira Hogan. I don't know why Layla Gray didn't show up. Maybe traveling plans or whatever the case is. So they barred Chris Statlander off. And I said to myself, why? Because right now, Chris Statlander's over. She changed a little bit of her gimmick. She's over. Again, easy on the eyes. Very beautiful ladies, both of them. And I don't know. It went from a trio match to a tag team. They announced it as a trio, and then they made it a tag team. It's like, okay. Then the match, we saw Jay Cargill, which personally, I had a little problem with it, though. I said, if Jay Cargill is from Atlanta, that's her home city. She'll be over with the crowd. Western from Atlanta, Georgia. Why not the hell you make her open the match? Open the freaking card with her. What's so wrong, Tony Khan, to be scared of putting the women either opening once or close? You know, like I said, they did close with the ROH woman, and that was a little bit of a dud. Wrong woman match. But you get the crowd with Jay Cargill, which she brought out Jermaine Dupri, and it looked good by coming out. But when the match started, another clunky match. Heel.
At 9 o'clock, I just want CM Punk to come out with his entrance, say, "It's woman time," and then just leave, and then just start with a women's segment.
I mean, yeah, and we see the big and Willow Nightingale took a lot of criticism by Twitter. First, she was sloppy, very bad. They were very, very not liking her in-ring performance. I'm thinking, you know what? I know what they're doing with Jade, but she needs to do some. She needs a coach and get her in there to perform. She's got the look. She's got the it factor. She's beautiful. She's tall. She's well fit. But sometimes I when she does some moves, I cringe. When she does that face plant with the talent, I'm like,
you can say that about a lot of women though in AEW, that they got it, so to speak. They got it. It's just either A, they don't have talent, B, they don't have the next two, they don't have the time, or the other thing is they're just not being pushed enough. Because long story short, AEW doesn't care about their women. They don't take them seriously. They don't care.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that because I don't know that for a fact. But
it shows on TV.
Their actions speak like they don't care for them.
Like I said, the whole thing with this review is going to be the fact that it shows on TV. Again, like you said, maybe they do in the back. Maybe they think they're being geniuses. I don't know. But as far as like from what we see from viewer to, on TV, to us, it shows they just don't care.
It's a shame. We see Jade continue to win against the pin on Willow Nightingale for the victory. One thing that I noticed, and remember, Athena's going to be a game changer. I don't see it in Athena. One, she's short, and there's nothing wrong with short women because look at Sasha Banks, she's short. And short Roxanne Perez is on fire and she's short. But Athena, she's not looking the same how she looked in WWE.
NXT even.
Yeah, she doesn't look the same. She looks a little bit heavier. Even when she went off the flying, when she did the moonsault, I was like, ugh. It looked like, I was like, please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt.
Yeah. I think we can all say this. It doesn't matter your size or whatever. What matters is if you come off larger than life. And when you look at AEW wrestlers, a lot of them don't come off larger than life.
No.
I don't know if it's in the presentation. I don't know if it's the fact that the AEW wrestlers have stopped taking care of themselves like they used to in X amount of company, whatever. But they just don't have that it factor that, I hate to say this, but New Japan or WWE wrestlers have. Because, for example, if you're going to tell me a lot of AEW wrestlers come off more larger than life, so let's say a Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, I would be like, are you on something? Or even like a Hiroshi Tanahashi or Nakata, I'd be like, okay. I'm like, this dude needs to calm down. Because, like, don't get me wrong, there are some wrestlers that are stars, per se, but I can't name you one wrestler in that company that's larger than life.
And like, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's been it's going to be close to a month before that we had the Forbidden Door. And one name that stands to me, and to me personally, and like I said, I don't watch New Japan Wrestling, but I would like to see more matches of Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
I was impressed by Will Ospreay. And that's a larger than life persona. And none of these guys or women have it. Athena doesn't have the it. I'm sorry, she didn't wow me like I have no thoughts or belief that Jay Carter would drop that title to Athena one bit. I could see it more over Chris Statlander than Athena, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, you should go and watch some New Japan entrances, especially from Wrestle Kingdom. Those are amazing entrances.
Yeah, no,
Especially, yeah,
especially the
yeah,
Rainmakers. The Rainmakers.
yeah. Especially when he had money and stuff coming down, and he was just like posing like that. They're amazing, larger than life entrances, and then they make you go and granted, it may be due to budget in the AEW. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know what it is, but yeah, they could work on that.
Yeah, we see that. We saw that there, and we shall see there. We know, no, what happens there. It's frustrating, but then we, of course, as soon as that match is over, they always go back. Two things in them: women and that slot, and then another woman's promo that really makes you
Yeah,
really, you don't get invested because you unfortunately always at the expense of Thunder Rosa. Saw Thunderstorm with Tony Storm in the back, and of course we finally see Dr. Brick Breaker, EMD, and the beautiful Jamie Hayter come out, and they're gonna have a match on set up for a Rampage. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that's why I said, okay, all right, okay,
yeah. And if I'm WWE, I'm looking at Britt Baker and I'm telling myself the fact that she can make herself stand out in that really, no offense, dull women's division in AEW. I'm probably going to sign her when she's a free agent because it's hard to make yourself stand out in that AEW women's division. And if she can do that, imagine what she can do with AEW like lighting and everything like that. She would be an amazing. And I'm not saying that to piss off AEW fans. I'm not saying that, because I necessarily want her to leave. I'm just saying, let's just be real, AEW fans. Your women's wrestlers are being held back tremendously, and I'm just saying the fact that Britt Baker is over, in my opinion, the most over female in AEW as a wrestler. If she can get herself that over in AEW, imagine what she can do in a WWE type of environment.
She could be over.
Yeah.
I would like to see
Yeah.
Jamie. I think Jamie Hayter is another one who was talented. Chris Statlander as well is a talented wrestler. She has the look. She's tall. She's got the physique. She has I could see now that Vince is no longer there, but that's the role model stereotype that they like using. But that's they look for there. But we'll see. We shall see there. We move on. We finally get to the main event. It is the Barbed Wire Everywhere match between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. Of course, we see the Jericho Society getting in a cage, suspended above. Now, I know it was safe. I know they were tested everything. But when I saw the guys being elevated above the crowd, above the live crowd, I was like, oh my God. If something, God forbid, something were to happen where this cage and you have a live audience where folks in attendance where that cage might crawl and hurt someone, oh my God, that is dangerous. What in the world were they thinking? They should have put the cage in an area if anything were to happen, God forbid, thank God nothing happened. And nobody, it only the performers will get injured, not the audience. I was like, oof, a little nerve wracking because they were pretty much elevated up high.
Yeah, they're pretty high.
And of course, we see the match. All these different agony there. The match was a match. I have a lot of criticism with the match. If you look at it on the Facebook page on the Heel of the Ring podcast, Eddie Kingston couldn't sell anything there. Oh my God, it was like, oof. Chris, what's up, Chris?
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he's Mr. Hardcore, Mr. Tough Guy, and not even an ounce of blood was shed by Eddie Kingston.
My thoughts on this match was I'm already drained. I'm ready to start watching. I'm gonna stop watching. I'm ready to just go on to get ready for the rest of my day. Luckily for me, I live in Central Time, so AEW ends at 9 for me. I was like, I'm just ready to go on with my day. So I'm like, can you guys hurry up and get this over with? That was my thoughts, and I know it's really cruel, but I was like, can you guys just fight, get this over with? And on top of that, I didn't care. Also, because it's like, it's a hardcore match, and you guys do dangerous stuff all the time. Like, for example, if this were to happen, if this type of match were to happen anywhere else, even in Pro Wrestling Gorilla, right? I'm not even going to throw New Japan or in there, right? Because I use that example a lot. Let's say Pro Wrestling Gorilla, because I don't think a lot of hardcore matches happening over there, and I might be wrong, but let's just, what, I'll just say any other company, right?
NXT. Let's go with NXT. You don't really have hardcore matches.
Okay, fine. NXT. Let's just say they have an NXT. I would have been like, oh my god, where they're having a barbed wire interview match. Oh my god, I am so hyped, ready. You know what? I don't really watch NXT, but not only for the sake of the review, and not only for the sake of like me as a fan, but I'm gonna tune into this and watch it because this is probably gonna be insane. And also, I can imagine the performers talking about what they're gonna do, the stunts that are gonna happen, everything like that. Oh my god, I'm just excited. But because this is an AEW and they do crazy stuff all the time, it's like, whatever. I'm like, you do you, and yeah, it's like, I was like, okay, I'm like, Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston are gonna fight, yada yada yada, and then when I saw the girl trying to get the man down, I was like, okay, and then the other girl came down.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we had Ruby Soho was for some reason taking care of the controls to elevate the cage to suspend the Jericho Society Club up in the cage above the fans, and she was the control of the controller with one hand dangled. And during the middle of the match, Ty Conti comes out and takes Ruby Soho, try to beat her up, and we see Anna Jay come out. All right, let's see what Anna Jay here. Kai now, Ruby's hurt. We could push her aside. Anna Jay, Ty Conti, former best friends. All right, we got another women's feud. Nevertheless, Anna Jay with the double heel turn and knocks beat the crap out of Ruby Soho. They bring the Jericho Society down from the cage, and Ty Conti with the keys. He's going all ditzy to open up the cage, and the biggest botch, one of the biggest botches of any. She can't even get the freaking cage open. This is why I say again, do they do any walkthroughs, rehearsal, check the stuff out? Did someone check they had the right freaking key to open the damn cage? I mean, it looked ridiculous. It looked stupid on TV. She was like, and you could tell she was nervous as hell because she couldn't open it. I don't know what to do. She ended up giving the keys to one of the Jericho Society members. Here, you open it. And they couldn't even open it to the point where they just slide right through the. Oh my god! It looked sucked out of the most out of.
Oh yeah, you reminded me of that when he slid in through the cage. I was like, what was the point of the cage then? I was like,
that it was suspended. That's it. That it was suspended up in the air. That's it. That high. That's all it was.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, he can slide right through. I'm like,
all of them. Even the only one that had issues with Jack Hager. That's the only one that had a little bit of he needed a little bit of grease to get out of there.
Yeah, I was like, really? They could just slide right through? I'm like, what was the point? What was the point of the like that? It was up high, like you said. That was really it.
That's it. It looked so bad, and then you got Eddie Kingston, who's supposed to be this fake tough guy from Brooklyn or from wherever they have, act like he lives in the slums of New York, and yeah, he might be from New York, but he I could go on.
Listen, I know this is probably a bad example, but but it's still an on-camera prank show and all that. I've seen tough guys. Here's a good example, right? All right, I remember the episode now. It's the episode where Murr tries to flirt with one of the other Jokers' wife or whatever. I think it's Joe's or something like that. Now, you want to see a real tough New York guy? Go back and look at that episode with Practical Jokers. That guy looked like a real tough New Yorker because he was buff and everything, and he was suspended on the pinata. If anyone remembers that episode, and he got beat the living crap out of as a punishment. Now that was a tough New Yorker.
And no, I get it. I know the crowd, AEW guys, crowd like Eddie Kingston, but if you're an outside of AEW, people don't like the guy. You know, first of all, it's not body shaming; it's that he just looks terrible with the work. He doesn't look like he doesn't have a Nick factor. He goes down. You know, you have straps. Keep the straps up. Nobody wants to see you chopping somebody, but meanwhile, your belly, you're doing a belly. You look like Kamala slapping your belly when instead of selling chops. It looks terrible. And
he looks like a really redneck Eugene or something like that. Like somewhere in that neighborhood.
I mean, please take away his intro song because that intro song don't fit him. That's too good for him. It's like, my goodness. And then he King of Hardcore. He doesn't shed an ounce of blood. No blood whatsoever. And then okay. Also, you earlier before the match, before the whole show started, you had some idiot dressed up in the shark mascot. Chompy. Why the hell didn't you exploit that and put Sammy Guevara, which we haven't seen because of the fall? That makes good kayfabe because he's injured. We don't know he's there. He's not part of the society that was supposed to be elevated. You have Guevara come out in the freaking shark costume, then he interferes. You could have sold that more. You could have been like, he's dressed up. All right, he comes out, and then the most botched, stupid move there. I don't know what it was that Kingston, when Jericho was going to hit him with the barbed wire, when he hits Guevara in the nets, and it looked like Kingston was going around like an idiot in circles. I please go to the Heal the Ring group page, and the video is there. How much stupid it looked. He's swinging to the air, doing nothing. You see Sammy, I don't know, got an arm lock with Jericho. I thought, is he going to turn on Jericho? No, I don't know. It looked like they don't know what the hell they were doing at that moment of the match. And oh my God, it was sloppy.
Like we've been saying, this show honestly doesn't know how to book anything. I'm sorry, AEW doesn't know how to book anything. It's just true.
Right. Even if they didn't know how to book it, the sloppiness is like, and they don't give a crap. I wake out of bed. I'm just going to come here and get this paycheck. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And make it, the marks out there are going to say, this is awesome. This is awesome. AEW. And we don't care what the people say on TV. We're getting paid. We'll see you next week. Match is over. This is awesome. Tony Khan is going to give me a hug when I get behind the curtain. I'll see you next week. You pay me next week. We'll see you next Wednesday. That's what it looks like.
An intimate hug.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that.
Yeah. And then I have busted open, Kiss My Ass on their show, and Wrestling Inc. They'll pretend that it was great, and we're fine. No, talk to how crap it looked in Kingston. You look terrible doing that. First, it was bad. It was bad. Jericho gets the victory at the end of the day. Where I'm glad that he got the victory. We Now, this is the part that pissed me off the most. And I know knowing Jericho, the way his performance was, you finally going to get this big bump with the spider web of barbed wire. Jericho gets thrown in there. You see that he's trying to sell the agony of pain. His pants actually rips. And you only give him 10 seconds. And that's it. You got to cut out. Because you were too busy giving stupidity early in the card with the stupid cake with Swerve. You could cut a little bit of that. You could cut the FTF promo. There was so much stuff that you could cut out of, and not elaborate it so long, where you could have gave more emphasis on that sell, on that hardcore, on that finish with the better spider, the barbed wire spider web there. But Jericho, that pain, and then you see Kingston just sitting there instead of it's just sitting like with no blood, nothing on him. He didn't sell it. I'm Jericho. I'm pissed. I just gave you, he almost got his eye taken out by the chair by mistake, by the way. When that chair fell and it hit and the bridge cut the nose. It got the nose.
Yeah. Not to mention, people already don't care about this match. At least I didn't, because how redundant these matches are. So the least Eddie Kingston could have done is sell the moves. That's the least. Because let's
He
be
did
honest. Let's be honest. Rather you care about a X match or A match, B match, whatever type of match it is, I think a wrestler should have at least enough respect to sell the other opponents' matches. Because, like they always say, another person every time you step in that ring is always trusting you, basically with their life, that you're going to be able to make sure they get out of that ring safe every week. And Eddie Kingston, he was entrusted with Chris Jericho's life, and he didn't even have enough respect to sell Chris Jericho's moves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what a poor way. If you're supposed to be Fight Fest, what a poor way of finishing it. I feel bad for Jericho. Is such a great performer, no matter where he is, from New Japan, from the Painmaker to Y2J, Lionheart, you name it. Jericho, the Elite Champion.
Corazón de León in AAA.
Yeah, Corazón de León. All those, Chris Jericho, the way at his age, reinventing himself, he didn't have to take that barbed wire match at that age. There's nothing for him to prove. He's trying to get an Eddie Kingston over, and I can see why he went over and won on that over Kingston. It's just like, I'm like, I know he's not going anywhere, but for me, we just don't want to see Eddie. I don't want to see his matches. I don't want to see another Chris Jericho Eddie Kingston match. Please don't. Unless if his loser leaves AEW for good. If it's one of those kind of matches, I'm invested. I don't care who wins, who loses. If Jericho loses, I don't care. If Kingston wins, I'll be great. I'll be satisfied. But I mean, personally, I don't know. I tried getting Kingston. I tried to get in that Kingston hype train, and I hit the emergency brakes to get off.
If I'm Chris Jericho, I'm pissed after this match.
I will be too. He don't need this crap. I don't need this crap. I'm the first united, the unified world champion. His accolades were there. He first Canadian to have that type of match in Canada. In the first, in Canada. So there's so much. He's got so much, so many marks on his career, and he don't need this. I don't know what's going on. The Jericho Society. That's also another for another day. That's just like I don't know what they're trying to do here. Then Moxie gets involved, but Moxie, you were too busy here. It's like, just I don't know. You got Ortiz come out with a Homie the Clown sock to hit Jericho. It's like what? It's like what? It just looks like we mentioned. If you're Latin, if you're a Latin family, if you're from from like where we Latin culture, it's like your family's. Vamos, for la photo. Come on, everyone, come for the picture. Let's come on, get together. Let's go. We gotta take the family for the picture. Come on, everyone, get together. And it seems like that's what they do in the back. You put that freaking potato, take that peach cake, put it down, and get in the ring. Go. Just make an appearance. Go make sure. That's what it seems like, and that's what it looks like to us. And by the way, Khan, stop saying you're sold out. Your events. Just say we have a great crowd. The arena was empty.
Yeah, I saw that. They were saying despite the rumors of it being sold out, the crowd actually was.
There's pictures. There's pictures. Yeah. Pictures do not lie.
It wasn't full really at all. Yeah.
And I know in the beginning I was telling my wife, does this sound like the crowd is pumped in, like the noise? Because you hear a lot of noise and you don't see nobody moving, and everyone's like sitting down, relaxed. They look relaxed to where the noise was like they were losing their crap, and it seemed like it was pumped in at times. And it was like, And I'm not accusing of that, but stop it. Don't stay humble, because I think that's where everybody liked it in the beginning of AEW's existence. The humbleness, the difference, the humble, the hungriness. And now you're, we got 1 million viewers. You couldn't hit send any quicker on Twitter to let us know that your one show hit 1 million while one time, and now hey, why don't you say that you were at 700,000 now? That you don't tweet. You quiet.
I'll be honest with you, and I think it's starting to show the more and more it builds up. I think AEW is just starting to get to that point where they're starting to lose why people wanted to watch them in the first place.
A tall telling sign. A tall telling sign when a couple of the originals leave. You know, now that Vince McMahon has retired from the WWE, has made it official. Those that are joining us late today, Vince McMahon has breaking news. We mentioned it in the beginning of the show. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the founder, creator of the World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment, has announced his retirement from wrestling, and effective immediately. He will no longer. He's out to retire, and now that he's no longer there, you could see. And Triple H is the head of talent relations in WWE, was announced earlier to say, I guess they knew that for what was coming. Look for him to be aggressive of getting some good talent in the WWE, greater talent. And if Triple H showed us what he had in his hands with the black and gold brand of NXT, I think the WWE with them. And of course, kudos to the marketing brand ambassador Titus O'Neil as well. You know, I didn't do a Raw review, but I wanted to say congratulations for him. That's old Stephanie McMahon's job. And Stephanie McMahon being elevated now to CEO, I think WWE is going to be in greater hands going forward. And they're going to excite. They're going to get the casuals, the kids, and then the hardcore all in one for some reason. And I think it's going to work. And watch out, AEW, for your main talent. Cody's already there. Cody's going to have some input. I can see, like I always said it, I can see Ricky Starks being one of the main guys heading to WWE. I also see Warlow, MJF, and I don't think I see anyone else, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and with Vince, like I said, officially gone, for Triple H to start signing any indie wrestler he likes, because if there's anything WWE has, it's the money. And by the way, like I said, prepare for them to have a check ready for MJF at any moment's notice.
And you know who's going to be a new one coming soon? Killer Cross. Book it for WWE. You'll see it. He'll be making his return. You'll see that.
Probably Ricky Starks and other Cody Rhodes guys too.
Yep. That is our rant and AEW Fyter Fest. It was all right because they gave me enough stuff to rant and complain and criticize. You know, that's the only entertaining part of it. Once again, AEW, I don't know. I get lost the word. I got me stuttering, got me going in circles. But they gotta shape it up, or we'll be seeing them out of not out of business, but drawing really low and struggling like TNA did when TNA reached a peak and they just flatlined.
Yeah, I mean, at TNA, it's starting to kind of rebuild itself a little bit.
It's good again. Impact is good.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, but they're still rebuilding their stuff up. Like, I'll say this. From what I heard and from what I've seen glimpses of, they don't look too bad right now. But AEW...
I'll tell you one thing. They booked their women's much greater and better than AEW. Because they had a woman on the mountain match. Phenomenal. The last one in Slammiversary was phenomenal.
Yeah, and I actually watched one of their women's matches. It was a tag team between I can't remember the other lady, but it was Madison Rayne and someone else. It was from a while ago, by the way. And it was them versus they were formerly known as the Iconics. Now they're the Inspiration. Which, by the way, they have a really good theme song in TNA. It's a catchy theme song. So, and I like their whole gimmick, like their brand new gimmick in TNA and all that.
I agree with you there, but that concludes our AEW Fyter Fest Dynamite review. We want to thank you guys because I have to do double duties. Going to do the Yankee watch along in about 45 minutes from now. We'll be going on the air. I want to thank you guys. Usually, Adam the Diff Man is the host of the AEW, but due to work and things out of our hands, things happen. Thing happens. It wasn't here, and hopefully next week, if everything goes well, we'll be back in his normal slot there, or with the heel here, going up and down and talking AEW. Don't forget tonight, SmackDown in 2 hours from now. I wonder if they're going to address the Vince. Of course, they're going to have to address the Vince McMahon signing. I wonder if he's going to do the resignation in house on SmackDown, make it a fully official, saying goodbye to the crowd, or it just did a tweet and just leave. Also, we're going to have the remnants of Fyter Fest, the Rampage edition, to pretty much the go home show for the ROH and we will cover that. We'll keep that notification so we'll bring it in.
And before we go, thank you, Vince. And I'm actually happy for you that you just get to be a grandpa now and just enjoy the rest of your life.
Yep, and we will have a Vince McMahon podcast ourselves with it. It'll be nothing but Vince McMahon, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I personally have a lot of good, with thinking, and just tune in. We'll definitely I can't wait to put that together and just talk about it and have a good round table. Trying to get some real myself and some hardcore wrestlers.
One more thing. Even though he's retired, and I know this is on an AEW recording, but I do have to say this just in case if I somehow can't make it to the next show for the honorary show. I'm going to try my best to, though. Just remember, if you try to compete with WWE, no matter what, you have no chance. No chance in hell. I just had to say that. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time, folks.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like,
in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt